Really quick, everybody, this entire video will be timestamped, so if you don't want to watch all the and just get straight into a different topic, please check the pinned comment or check the red bar right down below you. Again, this entire video will be timestamped, and I'd appreciate you guys watching whatever part that you liked. And if you're sticking around, guys, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to everything that you missed in MMA this week. This is a series on the channel that we do every single Friday, so if you are interested, hit that subscribe button. I will be posting this, like I said, every single Friday. And this is where we go through all the big news in MMA, all the little news in MMA, everything that you might have missed. We'll talk about something that's huge that everybody would have heard of, something to do with Conor McGregor perhaps, or we're going to talk about some random matchup that isn't even like any ranked fighters. We're going to talk about everything that you may have missed in MMA. With that being said, let's get into the video for today. Timestamps are there if you would need them. Starting off the video for today, Belal Muhammed versus Colby Covington. This fight is not announced, but it seems like Belal really wants that fight, and I meant versus Colby Covington in the sense where these two are chirping hard back and forth, and Belal more so is going right into Colby Covington. You know what? I understand Belal's side completely. He deserves a title shot way more than Colby does, and Dana White in the UFC is so adamant in giving Colby Covington the title fight right now, and all Colby Covington is doing is sitting back and just trolling. He's like, I killed Usman twice. I deserve this, and I'm a good matchup for Leon Edwards. Belal doesn't sell anything. I do. I'm in the main event. I'm fighting Leon Edwards, and Belal's like sitting there stirring because now he's going to have to take on Shavkat Rakhmonov, which is a horrible matchup for him. In my opinion, Shavkat's going to beat him, but then again, I did pick Belal in the other fights. I picked against him, so he keeps winning. Who knows what's going to happen? Regardless, I totally understand Belal Muhammad's frustration, so him and Colby Covington are barking at each other back and forth. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who do you think deserves the title fight? I would imagine most of you would agree with Belal Muhammad. I'm saying this is a huge Colby Covington fan. He does not deserve this title fight, but it is funny to see. Moving on, Adrian Yanez was talking about his division, and he was talking about Sean O'Malley. He said that that fight is inevitable, and I can really see this being a huge matchup one day as Adrian Yanez continues to win. It looks like he's going to, even if he doesn't win his next fight, it looks like this dude has a very promising future and will make it to the top of the 135-pound division because, again, he looked fantastic so far. Him against Sean O'Malley is a very, very sellable fight, and I already love the idea of it. Sean O'Malley should do it, honestly. The division is pretty booked up right now, so maybe if Adrian Yanez wins, maybe that's something you could pair up. Maybe I'm just dreaming. Who knows? Regardless, I like the way the guy's thinking. That would be an absolute huge fight, especially as Yanez continues to win. Moving on, like I said earlier, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington, and Dana White in the UFC said that this is absolutely going to happen. This is the next fight. Leon Edwards is digging his feet in the ground and saying, I don't know if he's actually said that he's for sure not going to sign it, but he keeps saying, I'm not fighting Colby Covington. I do not want to fight Colby Covington. He doesn't deserve it. He's calling out Jorge Masvidal. He's calling out Khamzat Chimaev. Everybody deserves a title fight before Colby Covington. And I got to say, I'm a little bit surprised by this. I don't understand why Leon Edwards wouldn't want to fight Covington. In my opinion, it matches up well for him. A lot better. I don't know. Even Masvidal, I would be like, hey, you know what? Leon Masvidal could give you a little bit of problems. But definitely not Shavkat. So he's not ducking Covington, I don't think, because the other matchups could be argued to be harder. I'm not saying that they are for sure. It's just a really weird situation because you would think that Colby would be a bigger payday. You get pay-per-view shares. You're a champion now. I don't know. I don't understand what his thought process there. But as we were talking about in another video, will Leon Edwards get stripped from the belt? I don't know if that's the case. It depends on how hard he digs his feet into the dirt and just stands there and says, I'm not signing. Because then what do? You have Colby Covington fight somebody else for the belt. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. So, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington is supposedly happening, but Leon said the fight is not happening. Moving on, like I mentioned earlier, Belal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov is being in the works right now, and Belal said yes, Shavkat said yes, so it looks like there's going to be absolutely no problems signing this fight just like the other ones, right? I know Belal wants a title shot, but the dude is turning into quite the BMF. He's signing everything, taking on the toughest contenders. I'm going to pick against Belal Muhammad in this one. I think Shavkat matches up well for him. But then again, like I mentioned earlier, Belal keeps proving me wrong. So let's see what happens with this one. It's a very, very interesting matchup in the welterweight division. It's good to see it active again. Circling back to Colby Covington. Colby Covington has been making the round doing so many interviews this week. And it's good to see because the dude's been radio silent. And I'm a big Colby Covington fan. I find him hilarious of everything that he does. He just goes off the rails. He's insulting everybody. He's selling himself well. I think he's doing great. I really like what he's doing. Does he go overboard at times? Absolutely. But That's how you go viral. Can't blame him. I don't believe that he has intent behind the things he says. That's the problem. But that's a whole conversation for another time, whether or not he should be saying those things. You know what I mean? So it's interesting, man. He's just destroying everybody with his words. He's talking about Belal. He's talking about Khamzat Chimaev. He's saying he's going to steamroll Edwards. He's even trash talking Usman when he's down, which is interesting. So Colby Covington has been making the rounds in the interview world on YouTube. So if you haven't seen any, go check it out. If you watched one, you probably watched them all, to be fair. Moving on to the next topic, and guys, I just realized how much we're talking about the welterweight division so far. Islam Makhachev wants to go up a weight and challenge Leon Edwards. He officially said that he wants to do that. And I don't remember who I was listening to. Maybe it was Submission Radio. I was listening to something about this when people were talking about it. Oh, maybe it was with Beneil Dariush. Yes, it was Submission Radio with Beneil Dariush. You guys have to go watch that, by the way. It was a great interview. I love Beneil. I love the guys over at Submission Radio. They were talking about whether, like, it might be a good idea for Islam, or maybe his thought process is, I just did something where Volkanovski came up and he had nothing to lose. Maybe I can do the same now that I've had a threat to my own belt. Maybe I could have a fight where there's nothing to lose. Even if he loses to Leon Edwards, nothing happens. Still a lightweight champion. So maybe he wants to get a little bit of a taste of that. I have a hard time seeing him win against Leon Edwards, especially once we've seen what happened with him against Volkanovski. He no longer looks anywhere near untouchable. And Leon Edwards just showed fantastic defense as a guy who's as strong as Usman. I don't like that idea for Islam Makhachev. I'd have to see how he sizes up, to be fair. But still, man, I don't know. I don't know about this one. And I doubt it would happen, to be honest. But still, it's news worth talking about. Moving on, Khamzat Chimaev went on Ariel Helwani's show. And the reason that I'm pointing this out is because he was giving an update. But the problem is, when Khamzat Chimaev gives an update, he just says that he wants to fight everybody. And we don't know when he's actually going to fight, because he's calling out everybody. He's saying that everybody's ducking him. He's signed to fight this. He's signed to fight that. And I made a whole video talking about that specifically. If you're interested, it's on the channel. One of the brandest new videos. I say, wow. Oh my God, you're good at YouTube, Kyle. Anyways, so Khamzat Chimaev, I don't know what's going on with him, man, but I really want to see him fight. And he keeps just talking about fighting, and it's sad to see how he's supposed to be marketed and he's not living up to that. So it's interesting. If you want to watch the Ariel Helwani show, you will get a whole lot of nothing, but still interesting to see because Khamzat Chimaev is an entertaining guy. Moving on to the next topic, and this one's going to bring the video down a little bit. I'm not too familiar with this fighter, Luri Lapicus. He was, and I apologize, I don't mean to be disrespectful for mispronouncing that. He was in an accident, a one championship fighter, and unfortunately passed away. It's always very sad to see one championship. I might have seen this guy fight. I apologize. Again, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's MMA news that we're talking about. So there's a one championship contender who had an accident, unfortunately died. I wish him well. All we can do is keep him in our prayers, but it is piece of news, and I don't even know. Like, guys, let me know down below in the comments if I should be covering this stuff, because is it really worth talking about? Because, like, I could just say, oh my God, like, that's so sad, but I don't want to then again, like, make content on it, because one day I'm going to make money on this channel. So I would feel weird about uploading this and then making money off of it. So again, let me know if this is news that you guys would like me to continue to cover. Regardless, it is a very, very sad situation. Moving on, getting it back a little bit upbeat though, Alexa Grasso said that she is down to fight around October and she wants an immediate rematch with Valentina Shevchenko. So it looks like, of course, Valentina Shevchenko deserves an immediate rematch, right? It looks like there's going to be no problems with that, which is nice. It's very nice to see with a champion like Alexa Grasso. Just like, if there's a long reigning champion, give them the rematch. Don't make it hard for anybody. We've seen a lot of fighters do that, so respect to Alexa Grasso. I'm going to cheer for her. I like her, though. I like her. I hope she beats Valentina again. I have a feeling she will, though. Moving on, there's a little bit of random drama that we just found out. Dan Hardy versus Dana White is back at it. Dan Hardy was just talking about, I think it's because he was making the rounds with the interviews. I'm not too sure. I watched a couple interviews with Dan Hardy. He said that he had to unfollow because of the promotion for CTE, which is Power Slap. Dan Hardy, since he left the UFC, has been very, very opinionated on everything that the UFC does. I don't think that... Here's the thing. I'm so confused with the Power Slap because everybody claims to be so against it. But this is like one singular strike, okay? And I understand it's not good for you. Technically is promoting CTE. You're technically right. But is it really worse than constantly taking 1,000 shots to the head in the middle of a match? I don't know. I feel like the people who are just saying this just want to hate on Dana White and hate on the UFC. And I'm not saying this. I've never even watched Power Slap. I see clips here and there, but I'm not saying this like, oh my God, Power Slap's so good. It's just, I don't get it, man. It really, I'm seeing through it because Ariel Helwani and Dan Hardy are like really going hard with this. Like, I can't do this. This is just so bad for people, even though they're willingly signing up. I don't know, man. I don't know how much I buy it. Moving on to the next topic, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is ready to fight, and he's interested in a fight with Kamaru Usman. So It's interesting that he's going back on his statement where he said he doesn't want to fight wrestlers anymore because Kamaru Usman could just take him down, which is an interesting idea. Maybe Thompson sees a way that he could like stay on the outside, bounce around, because Usman is quite stationary, so maybe he sees something there. Plus, it's a top contender that can get him close to the title. Man, it'd be so cool if Wonder Boy could win the belt at his age. That'd be so awesome. Moving on, we have two new USADA suspensions, Kyler Phillips and Darius Flowers, and they tested positive for ostarine. I'm not pronouncing that right, I don't think. I need to look it up because I don't know what that is. I apologize, 1 second. So I just looked it up, and I think you pronounce it ostarine. I apologize, guys. I've never heard of this drug before. Anyways, essentially what it does is, I have it on my screen right now, it just tells your muscles to grow. So I guess it's a way to just get jacked, kind of like steroids, I guess. I apologize if I sound stupid for not knowing that. I don't know if that's a common thing that I'm supposed to know, but I'm not going to pretend to know things on the channel that I don't. So two fighters got suspended for it. Kyler Phillips, very disappointing to hear, but still, hey, can't cheat. Moving on to the next topic. Moving on to Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, which isn't exactly news about that. There's somebody that's interested in being the backup fighter, and that is Drew Dober. One fight that I have always wanted to see was Drew Dober versus Michael Chandler. Just imagine the firework potential there, because I think Michael Chandler is going to get just completely destroyed by Conor McGregor, assuming Conor McGregor is healthy and is not restricted by his leg. He'll get destroyed. Michael Chandler versus Drew Dober would be absolute fireworks. I'm a big Drew Dober guy. I would love to see that. It'd be cool, because I would imagine a fight like that, you would get a backup, right? And Dober wants to do it. Let Dober do it. Always so exciting. Love Drew Dober. Moving on again to the next topic, Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje 2 might actually happen. Gaethje just won a fight against top contender and wants to move on towards the title. He's making one more run at the title, interested in Dustin Poirier, and Dustin Poirier said, well, he said we'll see what happens, but at least Dustin Poirier is acknowledging it. We don't see that a lot from him because he's very picky with who he wants to fight, and this is somebody that Dustin already beat. It's a fun fight. It scares him, to use his words, it scares him, which motivates him. So maybe this is a thing that could happen. I would absolutely love this. Please, for International Fight Week, give us Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier. If you guys have not seen that fight, oh my God, stop watching this video and go watch that fight. I hope this happens. I really do. Moving on to the next topic, and this one is very surprising to me. Holly Holm signed a new deal with the UFC to have 6 more fights. Whew, she's already 41, and I doubt she's going to look good this weekend. I don't know what else to say besides Holly Holm. We're going to see more of her just holding people up against a cage and going, ish, and then losing a decision maybe. And maybe, actually, that she could get gifted a decision. I don't know. I'm not too big on Holly Holm. No disrespect to her. I just don't love watching her fight. That's all. And she's 41 years old. I can't imagine her looking good this weekend. She wants to fight 6 more times. It's probably not going to go too well. But then again, it's women's MMA. Anything could happen, right? So who knows? Moving on to the next topic, Fabricio Werdum. We haven't talked about Fabricio Werdum in a very long time. Anyways, he's out of the PFL. Contract's up. I guess it just ran out of time. I don't have too much else to say about that. He's getting old anyways. I don't really want to see him fight anymore. It's just sad to see. It's the end of it. It's always sad to see the end of an era for somebody, but he's probably going to just fight for someone else and get knocked out. Who knows what's going to happen, which is very unfortunate. What a great fighter back in the day. Moving on, next topic, Jorge Masvidal wants to fight Colby Covington again. He wants to have that rematch, and he said that he will have that rematch. He wants his revenge before he retires. I kind of like the idea, not going to lie, especially with how picky Colby's being with the fights. I love the promotion for the first fight. I love the trash talk. I loved watching the fight. It was very, very entertaining, and it was fun to watch Colby Covington just do what he does to Jorge Masvidal. I'm so down for this, even though you guys probably wouldn't be. I hope, man. Could you imagine Colby Covington beats Leon Edwards, calls out Masvidal after beating Gilbert Burns, which probably won't happen. But then again, Masvidal, we're acting like he sucks. But he doesn't. He's just getting older, man. It sucks. It's sad to see. But still, I'm down to see this fight. That would be, the first one was so much fun. This one would be so much fun. Moving on, got more surprising news for you. Who knew this would happen? Paulo Costa signed a new 4-fight deal with the UFC. After all of that, after everything that we just saw, Paulo Costa is signing a 4-fight deal with the UFC. Huh? And the UFC is looking into booking him with Sean Strickland, which was the original plan, which is amazing. Please give me that fight. Please give it to me for International Fight Week. Oh my God, that would be so fun, especially with the build-up. Give it an International Fight Week press conference. Sean Strickland at a press conference, especially with a guy like Paulo Costa. I'm glad he's still in the UFC. I'm glad they reached an agreement. I'm just happy to see Paulo Costa again, and pairing him up against Sean Strickland would be absolute fireworks in the fight, and the promotion for it would be fantastic. Please make this happen. Moving on to the next topic, we're going to circle back to Dan Hardy a little bit. He is still banned from the UFC. He came out, I'm not too sure where, but he said that he was banned from all fight week activities. It's a little disappointing on his end. But then again, he's talking a lot of crap about Dana White, and Dana White just doesn't want him at the event. So people are saying that's Dana White being petty, but I get it, man. Like, would you really want someone that you hate there? And I'm saying this as a Dan Hardy fan. I like Dan Hardy. I just understand the other part of it. But it's unfortunate for him because Dan Hardy's wife just fought, and he was banned from all fight week activities. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know. Regardless, update on Dan Hardy. He's still banned from the UFC. All fight week activities. He can't do anything with his wife. Got a few fight announcements, starting off with Jack Hermansson versus Brendan Allen on June 3rd. This is a really cool fight. Jack Hermansson having a little bit of a rough go in his career right now, but always very, very exciting to watch. Brendan Allen just had a fantastic win, and I'm really excited to see if he can keep the momentum going, but I'm not going to lie, I probably will cheer for Jack Hermansson just because the dude really needs a win, and I like the Joker. So regardless, really, really fun fight. Moving on to the next fight, Molly McCann came out and said she was considering retiring after her recent loss to Erin Blanchfield. She said something to the extent of, why am I even doing this? And woo, she got destroyed. That was a long time coming. So then I don't have too much else to say about that one. She was just considering retirement, but it doesn't look like she is. She's going to stick around. Probably steal some clout from Patty. Who knows what's going to happen next. More big news. Khamzat Chimaev calls out Yuri Prochazka. Again, Khamzat Chimaev with his callouts. His fight will never happen, but Khamzat wants to fight Yuri Prochazka at the beginning of summer, and he claimed that he beat Yuri in a sparring session. Yuri came out and then said that he was going light on Khamzat, and he actually likes the idea for the fight. So he said, if we ever meet in the cage, I'll show you my true power. And that would not look good for Khamzat. Yuri would annihilate that dude. But you know what? I respect the ambition. Could you imagine if out of all the Khamzat Chimaev matchups, he goes to the light heavyweight and challenges for the title? That actually, oh, but I forgot, Yuri doesn't have the title anymore, right? It's very interesting. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess I could just make up this match. But Yuri's got to fight Jamal Hill first. So, again, it definitely won't happen, but it's definitely entertaining. One more fight announcement as of right now for you guys. We have Ian Gary returning already versus Daniel Rodriguez on May 13th. I got to say, Ian Gary, I like that he's being active. He looked great in his last fight, and I think he's going to keep that momentum going. I do like the matchup for him against Daniel Rodriguez. So for an early prediction, I'm going to go with Ian Gary. It looks like that dude actually might be something special, but I'm not too convinced of him yet. So we'll see what happens. Regardless, I'm excited for this fight. This is great. And I apologize, guys, to put a pause on this video really quick. I do have a transition period because everything that you're seeing, I recorded the night before or the day before. And I do that because I have a very busy day. The day that you're seeing this, I'm very busy. So in the next piece of news that we'll talk about, which is anything that came out this morning, you will see me. I will be dressed different. So I just wanted to explain myself. I have a very busy day, so I got a head start on the recording yesterday. And I'm back, everybody. We got a lot of news that just came out today. So something that I did miss and didn't actually come out this morning. Jorge Masvidal was talking about Gilbert Burns, and Jorge Masvidal, he called Gilbert Burns a stepping stone. Oh my God. Out of all the people, Gilbert Burns, he just constantly gets disrespect, that guy, eh? It's absolutely insane. It's nice, though, since the Khamzat Chimaev fight, his name's become a little bit more mainstream and people are really respecting it. But come on, Masvidal, what you doing? I don't know if this is necessarily something that you should put in news, but this is something the community was talking about. I saw it on Reddit. I saw it on Twitter. People were talking about it, so I'm here to report it. Jorge Masvidal is looking past Gilbert Burns already and wants to fight Colby Covington, or Kamaru Usman, and especially Leon Edwards. Next topic, Israel Adesanya is unhappy with Alex Pereira because there's a clip, you may have seen it. It went kind of viral in the MMA world where Alex Pereira was sitting down and watching a video about Israel Adesanya, and it pointed out, and I don't remember what it was. He had like some stuffed animals or something. It might have been Pokemon or anime. I'm not too sure. And regardless, they pointed to it, and Adesanya was like talking about it or something, and Pereira was just sitting on the couch like just judging him completely. And then I love the Adesanya and Pereira memes. They are so funny to me. But Israel Adesanya was going off on Alex Pereira, just talking about, why is he so interested in me? This guy just hates me, blah, blah, blah. He's insecure with himself. And it's just, it doesn't look good on Adesanya because he gets so bent out of shape over nothing, really. Like, this is something that you could just shake your head at back. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what's he even spending some time on me for? But he's going into it and he's like, I don't know. I don't want to say he's acting like a child, but he's so easy to just upset, and the memes are so funny to me. So I don't know what to tell you. Israel Adesanya is unhappy with Alex Pereira at the moment. Got another fight announcement. David Onama versus Kushan Ashkabov on June 3rd. This is a great fight. David Onama had a fantastic fight last time, and these two are very fun to watch. Very, very interesting prospects. You cannot miss this fight. I don't know what card that is. June 3rd. Make sure you tune in for that fight. Got another update on Paulo Costa for you. Paulo Costa, he's going to be a millionaire, according to Paulo Costa's manager, and we talked about the new deal that he did sign with the UFC. Apparently, it's for at least $1 million per fight. If that's true, that's pretty cool for Paulo Costa. Maybe that'll entice him to take those big fights. Who knows? Regardless, very interesting. I didn't expect to see that. Another fight got announced. Junior Tafa versus Muhammad Usman on April 22nd. Muhammad Usman is back. Same with Junior Tafa. Very, very interesting fight. I'm excited to see where Usman comes out, and these two are both exciting. I saw a lot of hate on Usman's post because he's not Usman, but still, I mean, I'm not necessarily a big fan of the guy, but he's always exciting to fight, right? From what we've seen so far, at least. I'm interested in this fight, honestly. Let's circle back to Alex Pereira now. Alex Pereira posted a picture, and he is already cutting weight. Today is March 24th, and his fight is on April 8th. He's already cutting weight, and apparently he walks around over 230 pounds. That is insane. That should not be allowed. Like, honestly, it's crazy that what these guys get away with. Absolutely insane that he's already started cutting weight for his fight, and it's not fair to Israel Adesanya at all. A little bit of sad news. Augusto Sakai got cut from the UFC. This is something that I did see coming personally, even though he was off of a win. It was just holding his opponent against the cage the whole time. Very, very lackluster performance. When I don't mean to laugh, like I was just looking for the right words to use. It just sucks, man. Augusto Sakai looked a little bit promising at the beginning, but then just went on this horrible loss streak, and then even with the win that he just had, he just looked terrible. So hopefully he does well in whatever he decides to go in. I wish him luck. Something that is breaking news right before I'm recording this video is Rafael dos Anjos opened up about retirement talk. He wants to finish his contract, which is 7 more fights, specifically in the 175-pound division. Then he wants to open a gym and teach martial arts. I think that's incredible. Going down as one of the best ever, Rafael dos Anjos. You want to talk about a BMF? It's Rafael dos Anjos. He might be at the top of the list for that. Love watching the guy. Great champion, great fighter. And even though he's like past his prime and he's not as competitive as he once was, amazing that he's still competing to the level that he is today. I love Rafael dos Anjos. I hope whatever he does after this, and I hope his gym is so successful. Also, he mentioned that he was also open to being the backup for Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. Excuse my ESPN notification there. I wonder what that was, actually. Oh, it was about Aljamain Sterling. Regardless, it's really cool to see, and I hope that they actually consider him as a backup because I still think it's a really good time to match him up with Conor McGregor. That fight has such a storyline to it. I would actually hope that Michael Chandler pulled out of the fight if that was the case, that Rafael dos Anjos was the backup. Not even kidding with you right now. Plus, he deserves a big money fight like that. That's all the news I have for you guys this week. Right now, I have a UFC Fight Night preview for you, and there are 2 fights that are off. Manuel Torres versus Trey Ogden is off. Torres has medical issues, and same with Haley Cohen. Her fight with Tamiris Vidal is off. Vidal has medical issues as well. So 2 fights that, I mean, I was excited to see Trey Ogden fight, but still, I didn't really care about the Haley Cohen fight. Some people were really looking forward to, but I feel like that's just because she's like subpar in the looks department. So I don't care about those fights getting canceled personally, but it still sucks. The more fights, the better, right? It's just, thank God that Cheeto versus Sanhagen is still on. I've been looking forward to that fight. I didn't want it canceled the first time. Other than that, as of right now, recording this video will be a couple hours before it gets posted. I have no more news for you guys. We do this every single weekend. Every single Friday, this video will be out, everything that you missed in MMA. So if you enjoy this content, and there will always be timestamps, I will never sell out and not do the timestamps for you guys. That's the whole thing that I want to do with my channel here. If you guys want to see some specific thing and me talk about it, timestamps will be there for you always, and we will do this every single Friday. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And also, LFA and One Championship are on tonight. I love One Championship and LFA. LFA is a great organization. One Championship is my favorite organization. Great weekend of fights. Stay tuned for them, guys. On the screen right now, I have a full card breakdown for the UFC fights this weekend. Also, if you are interested, I have another fantastic video about John Jones right below it. If you're interested, go on ahead and click on them. And stay tuned, guys, because again, we do this video every single Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.